If you believe in the zodiac or human design or living by the moon, just anything with the solar system, if you believe the things out there affect us here from a science level, from an esoteric level, everything that's out there is in here. There are shifts happening. And these are not like shifts that we have seen within our previous generations, right? If you were to think of the generations that you have heard stories from, the ones we have records from, and I'm not talking about like, oh, a couple hundred years ago before America even existed. No, um, many hundreds of years ago. I don't know history. Don't hate me on that. There are things happening, and it's it is a collective awakening. The earth is changing. The energy of whatever this existence is changing, and humans are changing too. Some people can feel it, some people can't. If you are finding my videos in your feed and finding my information to be resonant, or just, I mean, haven't really said anything, and if you're feeling called and drawn to this energy, you're probably one of those people feeling pretty different too. And I bet you're probably thinking that you're going insane. You're probably feeling lost, confused, overwhelmed, tired, drained. Or you could be like, if you're a happy person, you could just be like super wired, all over the place. Maybe you're usually organized with your projects and instead you're bouncing all over the place. But there's a lot happening. And it really is just a time to mellow out, slow down. And sorry, I'm looking at the screen. Just one moment. Okay, it's just kind of dusty. So I live in the desert, so I was just outside watching the sunrise. So my phone's a little dusty because it's windy outside. There are changes happening, and it is vibrational based. And I'm feeling called to share my experience with vibrations. And there really is a difference between heavy, dense 3D, for lack of a better word, energies and higher vibrational, more full of love, more backed with joy and peace, 5D dimensional energies. And if you're on a journey of health and fitness, there's health and fitness is great. I have found that most people on their spiritual journey end up not eating food as much, not needing sleep as much, li- being called to more liquids. Some people go without water. I personally am still learning about water, so I am not looking to cut water out, but I have learned a lot about food. And through all my journeys of food, going from living off of fast food as a young adult that didn't know how to cook. Well, I didn't live in a place that I could cook, raising a family, and I didn't have my own kitchen for a very long time. So, been through the journey of becoming a bodybuilder, stepping on stage in a tiny bikini and 5-inch heels with spotlights and having your swimsuit glued to your body literally so that nothing peeps out. And from that to realizing how much that consumed my energy for very selfish reasons, in a sense, it was a great experience, but it wasn't a passion of like, this is my calling to show the people what I can do. I wanted to show myself that I could do it, and I knew I could take it further, but there was more and deeper. And then veganism came into play, and then learning about the energy behind food and that it's transferred from animals and even down to the soil that our plants are even used. Even veganism wasn't safe. And then just kind of started going to whole foods, foods that have geometry in them, foods that maintain moisture from the light of the sun, like it's natural foods. And then you hit a lightness of energy where you just operate from source energy, and then your sleep starts changing, and then you can do things. It's weird. It's I say weird. I think if you look up weird, I saw a meme one time that said weird actually is defined as fateful, something to that nature. It's been a minute. So could be wrong on that. I'm going to snag a sip of my coffee that's sitting here. So if you are still watching this still feels called to you. I feel like I have said who I am. I'm Deb. I share the human experience, help others with their human experience. This human experience is getting weirder and weirder for a lot of people. Okay, if you're in the 3D realm, which you're probably not watching this, but I'm going, those are going to be the people around us that are focused on the war, focused on the politics, focused on things going wrong. And then there's you that's watching this video. You're focused on finding love and peace within yourself because you know that that's the answer to creating love and peace out there. If we want a better world out there, it has to come from in here first. All right. So, a good example is the world is never going to stop throwing you problems. Situations are going to happen because think of it as a TV show. If they just sat there and stared at their phones, what kind of TV show would that be? Right? They need problems, they need situations. So you're always going to have these things. And it's your reaction to these things that are going to change. If I could tell you the chain of events that I have had, even since I mean, just we could start with my whole life. It's a chain of events, but pick a time frame, pick 3 weeks, pick 3 months, pick 3 years, and I can give you lists and lists of hardships and misfortunes and injustices and things completely out of my control that I pay for. And in the end, those things are always going to keep happening. And the goal is to learn to respond instead of react. It's to learn to pause and not cry over spilt milk. And I've made a lot of progress. There's a lot of areas. I've made a lot of progress. And it's wonderful. My mind was trailing off to a situation where there was a time frame where I gave up on making progress. I said I was done trying to be good. I was done trying to perform. I was done trying to be the best person that I could be because things just working out. So why should I be the best person I could be? So I let my personality go to crap and I let myself sink into that hole and I let all the gunk come out and be exposed. And it felt awful, yet so good and so relieving to give it the space to express itself, to really feel what it's been trying to feel. And did it wreck my life for a little bit? Absolutely. But that's part of the experience. And when you come out of it, you really are a lot stronger. I have minimum of 5 situations right now that anyone would take one of those situations and be overwhelmed with. I'm dealing with a handful of them. And although they could be problems, but they're just situations. It's just you take them as they come, one at a time, and do I don't meet all the deadlines I'm supposed to meet. I miss many emails. I misunderstand many instructions. I One of the problems of overcoming this is something, okay, without getting into my personal life, I had a concussion in 2023 and I didn't go to the hospital for it, but I literally can feel that my brain is significantly stunted since then. Like it was almost it was like I had a concussion and then I was in a car accident within a week after also. Um, the accident was mostly minor, but like definitely some whiplash and brunt force with that involved. Uh, and since then, my brain has not been the same. I am a smart enough person to know when I am not the same person that I was. And that's been really hard because I have always took pride in being a smart person and being an organized person and being a well thought out person and being an on time person and having everything in row and in order. And ever since that concussion, it has not been that way. And it did, like, just the aspect of my brain losing its function sent me into a spiral along with other traumatic situations and just overwhelm. I really did allow myself to crumble. And the side effects were very apparent in all categories. And now I'm rebuilding from that. And I'm coming from a place of faith in God. If you were to ask me any time frame within the last however long, I mean, just my whole life, if I were to be turning to God in such faith, I I wouldn't believe you. Universe, yes. Source, yes. But to but God, God. God's faith and God's love is what is is the reason I'm here today. It's the reason I'm still alive on this earth. It's the reason I'm making this video. It's the reason I feel called to share information that might help one person. I know it helps one person because anytime I open my mouth around anyone, it's commented that the things I say are things that they want to hear. It's things they need to hear. And I don't say that with, like, I mean, maybe I don't need to be humble. Like, God speaks through me, and I don't. It's weird. I'm trying not to be ego about it, but, like, it's a thing, and God, it's just a thing. Okay, if I'm wrong, great. Comment below if I'm wrong. All comments are good comments on the algorithms, bad or good. So bring it. My mind was trailing off on one thing of that. I am here because God has me here. I am here doing these videos because it's what I feel called to do. It's what brings me peace inside myself. Sharing my message, what I can. Even just talk therapy. Like, our voice is powerful. And so being able to say this out loud, it's basically journaling, except without a crampy hand. And instead of worrying about one boy sleeping over and reading through my journal, it's in front of the entire world, free for anyone with an internet connection. So if you're resonating with any of this, maybe if there's one takeaway that you could take away from this is find what you find peace doing and do that. And it's not always going to be the same. We find that inner peace by not reacting to situations that come. It's just like you're going to have to take actions to resolve those situations anyway. So why elevate your heart rate over it? Why allow your brain to go into a state of seeing red? Because then you can't lead from your heart. I've heard someone recently say, "What would you do if you had $90 million?" And then he continued to say, most of you probably can't even imagine the belief of having that much money. And my response was, well, I guess I would do whatever God directs me to do with it. That choice of what I do with that money will be God's choice because I listen to God and God leads me in my choices. And I think that's a very powerful thing to say. It's a very powerful way to live. It's a very powerful way to feel connected. Because ultimately, I feel like connection is what a lot of people are missing. And it's the connection to our inner source. because we're not just this bubble of consciousness inside our head. Like we are everywhere. We are all encompassing everything and anything, inside, outside. We are God. God is us. God is love. Love is God. That's it. It's just so beautiful how simple and easy it is. You don't have to work hard for things that you want. You just have to know that you have them. Is discipline and focus and clarity, are those required for things that you want? Absolutely. Is a knowing and awareness of what you even want required? Absolutely. If you go floating by in life, you're going to end up years down the road and like what? You might not have anything to show for it. Now, if you're having fun and living through peace and love and joy and fun in the meantime without having plans, and it's flowing for you and that's your flow, like then that's your flow. And that's okay. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need to be chasing goals. You just need to be following your inner peace and your inner heart. That's it. I feel like that's all there is for today's video. It's being called to end it here. So, my name's Deb. I'm here sharing the human experience to help others with their human experience. There is a new earth upon us. Energies are shifting. If you're called to this video, if this resonates to you at all in any way, let me know below. What are you feeling in this whirlwind mass awakening? Because it's happening. So, have a blessed day, everyone. Much love.